Module 5.2, Gen AI. With 175 billion parameters, GPT-3 set a new benchmark for natural language generation, enabling applications like chatbots, code generation, and content creation. By 2021, we saw the arrival of DALL-E and Codex and GitHub Copilot. And by 22, Stable Diffusion and DALL-E 2 models democratized image generation by allowing fine-grained control over generated images, often with open source implementations. Since 2023, Gemini, DeepMind, and Flamingo, also DeepMind, have used GPT-4 to combine text, image, and other data formats for more versatile generative capabilities. So generative AI is evolving as a creative assistant, complementing human creators, though some may say also replacing some. The author of the 2019 book, Surveillance Capitalism, Shoshana Zuboff, has critiques of Gen AI's role in this economy of surveillance capitalism, where user data has been exploited to train models, raising concerns about privacy and consent. Since this rapid acceleration of AI's capacities, philosophers and theorists have weighed in on Gen AI, discussing really its implications for humanity, creativity, ethics, and a philosophy of mind. Thinkers like Nick Bostrom in Superintelligence, a book that he writes, argues that advanced AI, including Gen AI, could surpass human intelligence, posing existential risks. Optimists like Peter Singer, Yuval Noah Harari have focused on the benefits of Gen AI for solving global challenges beyond our current human capacity. Ethicists like Jaron Lanier, Luciano Fioretti, etc. say that Gen AI is reshaping the infosphere. And Thomas Metzinger notes Gen AI's potential to blur the lines between human-authored and machine-generated content, hence arguing for a need for responsible development and more regulation. We also see post-humanists like Catherine Hales and Rosie Braidotti already exploring how Gen AI redefines human relationships with machines, and perhaps that is the critical area of future research in our times. Now, creativity, in our era by 2023 has made us realize that maybe everything is about to change. The exhibition, Calculating Empires, is a vast installation that is the result of almost 4 years of research and design by Joler and Crawford. It takes Donna Haraway's challenge literally, that we need to map, quote, the informatics of domination, close quote. Crawford and Joler visualize and critique the empires of the past while tracing their legacy to the technology companies of today. This exhibit opened in November 23 at Milan and noted that this is the year when generative AI has flooded global culture and dominated attention spans. This has left little time for people to reflect on the deeper dynamics at work. They say we've put AI in a much larger context by illustrating a 500-year prehistory of these systems. Crawford, the curator and designer, writes, quote, Calculating Empires considers how technologies of communication and computation and social systems of classification and control are always entwined and mutually constitutive, close quote. Where their previous work, Anatomy of an AI System, was about technology in space, Calculating Empires contends with technology in time. While there is need to reflect on the shift from predictive AI to generative AI, we're also seeing incredible creative uses of AI. In November, Ida, the world's first ultra-realistic robot artist, sold her abstract portrait of Alan Turing at Sotheby's for over $1 million, far exceeding expectations, and fueling debate, of course, about the value of creativity. Tashan's book on NFTs was published in 2024, and the hype around NFTs was there in the pandemic. It profiles over 100 digital artists from 32 countries. The spread of AI has been truly global in the arts. In the UK in April 24, Anadol marked the longest continuous generative AI visualization on nature to date, employing what he called the Large Nature Model, which is the world's first open source Gen AI model dedicated to images inspired by data of flora, fungi, fauna from over 18 rainforest locations, and that was collected using technologies such as LiDAR and photogrammetry. Now, the thing is that as much as we want to sort of be hopeful, there are also other challenges around this. So in June 24 in Art Basel, when there was a street literally called the Digital Art Mile, the city's first ever such mile, initiated by George Bach and Roger Haas. He's the founder of Art Meta. This has been sort of a really landmark year for all kinds of changes. So in September 24, near Los Angeles, we see Dataland, which opens up. We see art contests in Australia, like the Brisbane Art Prize, where there's a recognition of AI assistance in artworks in mainstream competitions. And the Brisbane Portrait Prize last year signified a shift in the art world's acceptance of technology. So as AI continues to develop, its integration into artistic practice could really revolutionize how art is created, experienced, and valued. And these advancements raise questions now about authorship, creativity, and the role of human skill in art, which are likely to stimulate ongoing debates and explorations within many communities. Now, that being said, the digital award that went in Brisbane to Serial Copycat, which was a self-portrait consisting of 15 images. Serial Copycat used a program called Runway ML to merge photographs of the artist and photographs of early 20th century artists whose images were out of copyright. Artists said, "My portrait subverts the phenomenon of face-swapping technology, questioning authenticity and AI's role in art making," close quote. If we see this report from the website, The Day After AI, the question asked by the artist duo, Holly Herndon and Matt Dryhurst, who used early versions of DALL-E, their question is one for our time. They asked, what might it mean to be able to produce infinite worlds from a single painting or photograph? Not all fear AI art, though. Marcus du Sautoy, a mathematician at the University of Oxford and author of The Creativity Code, Art and Innovation in the Age of AI, contends that AI can help to kickstart an artistic metamorphosis and move us toward totally different ways of seeing and creating. He says, and I quote, "Humans are just as prone to behaving like machines, repeating old behaviors and getting bogged down with rules like a painter or musician locked into a particular style," close quote. AI might help us, he says, to stop behaving like machines and kick us into being creative again as humans. Sautoy sees it as a powerful collaborator in the pursuit of human creativity. Now, new imaginations have been unleashed with these technologies thus far. If you look at Nigerian artist Afe Goba, she gained attention for her AI-generated images depicting elderly individuals in high fashion settings. The series challenges age-old stereotypes and received high praise from the World Health Organization for promoting positive representations of aging. A Bolivian artist, Ayala, created another piece called Las Avichas, in which 8 AI-generated grandmothers come to life. These AI-generated portraits are to honor her female ancestors, combining digital art with augmented reality and traditional textiles. In a piece called Neural Zoo, Argentinian artist Crespo's work features AI-generated hybrid creatures to explore the intersection of biology and art. In India, too, a project called Rangsil merges traditional Rangoli art with digital techniques. Using rule-based algorithms, it generates symmetrical patterns inspired by Rangoli, incorporating voxel structures and tesseracts to add a futuristic dimension. So at the India Art Fair in 2023, an outdoor art installation, Computational Convergences, supported by the Tezos Foundation, introduced computational art. And then this was listed on the digital portal, which is something called objkt.com, for essentially NFTs. So now India's Copyright Act has also granted protection to AI-generated works like Suyast, where an AI programmer and human artist were listed as co-authors. This decision underscores India's recognition of human involvement in AI-assisted creations, though the legal framework continues to evolve to address these complexities introduced by AI. To give you other examples, the European Union's AI Act was enacted in 2023 August and grants creators the right to opt out of having their works used for AI training. It also allows rights holders to demand fair compensation when their content is utilized by AI. This legislation attempts to balance technological advancement with the protection of creators' rights. Now, meanwhile, in the US, the Copyright Office maintains that works must be the product of human authorship to qualify for copyright protection. Right? This is different from the Indian context. And this stance was reinforced in 2023 when a court ruling said that AI gen art without human input was ineligible for copyright. Now, additionally, the Take It Down Act, which was signed in May 2025, criminalizes the distribution of non-consensual intimate imagery. So this is particularly important for things like AI deepfakes. And this is also about protecting really individuals, right, from AI misuse. The debate over AI-generated art and the artist's rights is a global one. So in India, the Copyright Act of 1957 obviously does not explicitly address AI-generated content, but there are a lot of legal ambiguities regarding ownership as well as authorship. This gap is what underscores the need for updated legal frameworks and for us to consider the complexities introduced by AI in creative fields. Now, this year too, India is actively reevaluating its copyright laws to address the complexities introduced by AI in particular. So this is concerning AI-generated content, but the initiative aims to balance the protection of creators' rights with the promotion of technological innovation. In 2024, this is in India, Asian News International filed a lawsuit against OpenAI in the Delhi High Court, alleging that its articles were used without permission to train AI models like ChatGPT. The case has since seen participation from major Indian media houses, right? These include NDTV, Hindustan Times, the Indian Express, and other members of sort of the Digital News Publishers Association, the DNPA. And these include also Z and India Today and other such organizations. But all of these organizations contend that the use of their copyrighted content without authorization infringes upon their intellectual property rights and undermines their revenue models. Leading Indian music labels such as T-Series, Saregama, and Sony Music have also sought to join the aforementioned lawsuit, expressing a similar sentiment, right, that concerns the unauthorized use of their sound recordings to train AI models. So represented here in the case by the Indian music industry, IMI, the group, these labels argue that such practices violate their copyright and threaten the livelihoods of artists and producers. Artists are also exploring tools, that defy this, and these tools include things like Nightshade and Glaze, which protect creative works from unauthorized AI training. Nightshade introduces very subtle alterations to artworks, potentially disrupting AI training processes, and Glaze masks artworks to prevent scraping. Now, these tools represent proactive steps by artists to safeguard their creations in a digital age. That having been mentioned, please do take a look at many other creative options like artbreeder.com, and of course we will discuss many possibilities subsequently.